What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to make a separate video on the Honda NSX R GT. Now, I was going to include this car in one of the other videos where I go over rare vehicles, but I was like, you know what? This thing was pretty dang difficult to get. I would rather just talk about this in a separate video. Now, I gotta admit, guys, for me, so far out of all the random cars I have went after, I guess you could say the rare cars that are random, this one probably has been the most difficult. And insanely enough, though, for me, this car was easily the most difficult one for me to get, even past the Camry, the Pro Stock, and all of those. I had more issues going after this car than any of them. It took me around, I maybe want to say like 3 or 4 even plus days after that, probably longer, going in there, pretty much seeing these, then losing them, and also barely seeing any of these show up in the auction house. The insane part is I was on one night, guys, I was like, all right, I'm determined to get one of these cars, man. I'm going to get this thing. Can I view the motor? Oh, you know what? I'll just go sit inside of it. But I was determined to get this car, though. I had to do it, so I was like, you know what? However long this takes tonight, I'm going to do it. I started around midnight. I did end up getting the car a little after 2 a.m. And yes, I did end up failing multiple ones. I'd back out on accident because I wouldn't see the block pop up quick enough. You would think that blocked would see the block, right? But I guess I need insight to... Yeah, I should stop. But either way, though, when I did end up seeing the car pop up, I'm like, oh, let me get this thing. Fail, fail, fail. Insane part is the most expensive I've seen one of these, I believe, is around 250, something like that. Like, this car does not sell for that much. But the thing is, everybody wants one of these, and I can kind of see why. Now, one thing is I've always been a fan of the NSX. I love this body style. You can fight me in the comments if you want, but I actually like this NSX more than the new one. I don't hate it, but I really do like this body style. Now, the thing is, this isn't going to be a regular NSX. No, this is going to be the NSX R GT, which I do know for a fact right now this car is not in any game that I know of besides Forza. Do let me know in the comments below, guys, if another game this car is going to be. It might be in Gran Turismo, but again, I'm not sure. I don't think it is. I do know the racing version of this car is in there, but one thing about this car, though, and a few facts I did want to go over, is this car was going to be built to meet the Super GT Racing Series regulations in Japan. That right there, I was like, wait a second, that's kind of wild. And also, there was only 5 of these built, bro, and apparently all for Japan. So if you wanted to get one of these, well, you most likely never had a chance at it, but that is also going to make it very rare. Right there alone, I do think people are probably going to look at this car and go, okay, well, I do want to get one of these. I definitely want to grind out for one. And I feel like players are looking at it, and when I was going in the auction house, man, it is crazy how fast these dang cars sell. I was like, all right, maybe the NSX won't be that bad, right? It's just going to be a Honda. Well, I was in for a surprise, bro, because it was definitely way worse than I thought. This car pretty much never really showed up that much, and when it does, like, there were sometimes waves of them, right? You would see, like, 3 or 4 or 5 of them or something like that, and be like, oh, dope. Then you'd also go, like, 30 or 40 minutes and pretty much never see one. But, wow, this car not only looks amazing, but it really does feel great. Now, all I did to this car was pretty much not much of anything. I basically did end up, you know what, let me take this waypoint off, man. I don't know why. There we go. Now, the thing is, all I pretty much added to this car was going to be the wheels, as you guys will see on the side there. I widened them out a bit. I also leveled the car all the way up to around 798. I did lower it as well, and that is pretty much it. Like, sure, is it a good build? Honestly, I don't think so, but I did want to put it on there and try it out and just kind of drive the car a bit. I'll do some racing stuff in it as well and test it. But I do feel like this car really is going to be great, and basically a ton of players want it. The issue, though, is this car is not only going to be pretty dang cheap in the auction house, but a lot of people also want to get it. So you have a very cheap car that many players like, so it's sought after, and it isn't going to be that expensive. Well, going over and trying to auction snipe one of these is probably going to be similar to like something like the AMG GT Black Series. I love that car. That one was also going to be very difficult, maxing out at like 1.3 million, I think. The other car on top of that's going to be the '03 Cobra. That car, I think, was like maybe 1.2 million, something like that, 1.3. So that car is also cheap, but with it, a lot of players do want it. I do know the NSX has a lot of fans behind it, and a lot of people really do love this car. You know what? Let me just do a quick race in this. Might as well talk about a few things. And also, I do know somebody that owns an NSX. It is going to be green. The wheels are going to have like a, not chromish, but they're going to be a little bit brighter like an alloy. Then they're going to be like a tan color. And yes, it does absolutely look amazing. But here, let's see. Okay, so I figured I would jump into a race here and talk about this a tad more, like going over the person I know that does own one of these, and also a few more facts about this thing. First things first, as I did mention before, though, this car was going to be created for the Super GT rules, or at least you had to have 5 of them in order to have the car race there, so that was going to be why there was only 5 of these created, and with that, other things were going to happen. So this was going to be a 3.2-liter naturally aspirated V6, and I would say right there, that's a pretty awesome motor. You know what's funny, guys? Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of 4-cylinder cars are going to be very cool, although I think putting a 4-cylinder in a pickup truck is a bit odd. Don't y'all kind of miss the V6s and V8s and inline 6s and stuff like that? I do know a lot of companies are kind of getting rid of those motors, and I understand in ways, but also I kind of don't. Like, we all do know a lot of people love buying V8s. They also like buying V6s and stuff. And now a lot of companies have went toward like main 4-cylinder hybrids or stuff like that. For example, the RCF's not going to have the V8 anymore. The ISF was canceled. I do believe apparently the M8 competition's also going to now be going away as well. And I would say that's going to make a lot of people sad. Like, I thought about this when I looked at this car. I went, okay, well, it's going to be a naturally aspirated V6. We all do know the other NSX was very similar. This was going to be designed for the race car and stuff like that, or at least so they could race. But this car is still going to be based off of that one. One of the friends of mine does have one of these. I love that car, man. It sounds so dang great. He absolutely loves it. He actually said he did want to get another one, a different color scheme. Whoa there, Sylvia. You're going a little bit crazy there, my dude. I probably should have shifted. I think I was just like sitting there without shifting, which is probably part of my issue. So far, this car is also handling pretty well with the setup. I kind of thought I was going to fail. And before you say anything, no, I'm not going to be on Unbeatable. I think currently I'm on Highly Skilled, just so I can drive the car a bit, and that way I don't have to like battle the AI out when I'm trying to talk and stuff like that about the vehicle. We all know how difficult that would probably be with the AI being complete race car drivers. But besides that though, speaking of the NSX and these cars and all that, do you guys also like the older one more than the new one? I am curious because I would say, and a lot of people I have noticed online, they do tend to talk about the older NSX more than the new one. Like, I feel like more people like that car over this one. Like, I can't blame you either, because I think the body style on this car definitely looks better. And again, I understand this car is pretty much not going to exist in a way because there's 5 of them. And what I mean by that is you can't just go out and eventually buy one of these. If you wanted like an older NSX, which is going to be around this year, or like in the 90s to the early 2000s, then yeah, you could probably go out and buy one. It is going to cost some money, but you legit cannot buy one of these. At least I don't think you can. And if you probably could, I would not want to know what this car would probably end up costing. I did see again that it was only going to be for Japan, so if you did want to get one, you probably got to go there. And if they would even be willing to sell it, which probably not because there's only 5 of them, then you're probably going to spend a crazy amount on this vehicle. But driving this car a bit, I can also see why people love it. Overall, though, I gotta admit, even doing a single race in this vehicle, I can definitely see this car being very good, and I do think a lot of players probably want to go after it for that reason, but also it's going to be a very rare NSX. That is basically not any other racing game that I know of. Do again let me know in the comments below. I also do know this car is going to be very rare, so if you guys want to get this thing in the auction house, the biggest thing is you do not have to go in there with a ton of money, but you are going to have to go in there with a lot of patience. This car is pretty much going to pop up on the market, man. It is going to sell basically instantly, and you are going to have to be very quick when you are going to be attempting to buy one of these out, because other players are also thinking the exact same thing. In fact, guys, you all know how I said I pretty much went 2 hours in order to get one. It was easily going to be a lot longer because that was only the single night I was determined to get it. Also, speaking of that though, when this car did end up popping up, you all know what I did? I backed out, bro. I managed to go back in. I did end up hitting buyout, and boom, I did end up getting it. I honestly couldn't believe it because I really thought I was going to be a goner. Like, yo, someone bought it, but let me try again. And boom, it was still there. I managed to get it. So I probably got insanely lucky and was still able to buy it. So even if you guys back out or you hit the wrong button, do not give up, because me showing these cars off and getting a lot of these rare vehicles, I do truly believe other people can also do it. But the auction house really is going to take a lot of patience to get there. Do let me know what y'all think about the NSX GT in the comments below, or NSX R GT. Don't want to miss that, because this thing really is going to be incredible. It looks amazing, and it's going to be insanely rare in racing games and also in real life. I mean, there's 5 of them out there, and it was also created that way this thing can, or at least this car, could compete in the Super GT series in Japan, which honestly is incredible. One day I really need to visit Japan, man. They make such incredible cars over there, including this one. But do let me know your thoughts on this car in the comments below. I can't wait to see what everybody does say about it. And I was also planning on maybe doing more of these types of videos in the future. In fact, I definitely wanted to. I would say a lot of people probably saw the Flying Spur, so I'm like, you know what, let me try another one with the lovely NSX R GT here. And I really am thinking about doing more of these. I really enjoy talking about the cars a bit, and that was something I might do, like pretty much go over the cars, do like a mild review or something over them, and with that also go over some real facts about the car and stuff, maybe some history about it. I feel like that would be pretty dope. Do let me know what y'all think about that in the comments below. And again, if you have the NSX R GT, let me know. I am curious. And if you guys want this car again, do not give up. It's just going to take some time because, my goodness, a lot of people want this thing.